Perfect.
All right, everybody, welcome to today's edition of SWACTalk. This is the show where we cover the SWAC inside and out. And I'm your tour guide around the SWAC. See what's coming at you. And today we got a little bit of what I like to call the news and notes episode of the show. We're just going to talk about a whole lot of different things in SWAC sports. We're going to mainly cover basketball and baseball and softball. We'll be back with football probably starting up this week. You know, spring practice is going on and all of that. So just gonna put the final touches on basketball today and go over some SWAC baseball scores and standings, and then we're gonna get on up out of here. So as usual, man, y'all get those socials on Facebook. It's SWACTalk, Instagram, SWACTalk, Twitter, SWACTalk76. Make sure to like the video for sure. Hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel, man. We're trying to make that march up to 900. So we're getting there, and we definitely appreciate everybody that subscribed. And if you haven't, man, hit that subscription button so you can go ahead and rock with us as we cover all this SWAC sports. So, like I said, man, we're not going to waste no time on this, man. We're going to go ahead and handle our business on this lovely Sunday. We're going to start off by talking about the SWAC women's basketball that took place this week. We had NCAA First Four game and in a women's NIT game take place. Southern took on Sacred Heart in the women's First Four, so we'll talk about that game first. Plain and simple, man, this game was determined honestly in the second quarter. Southern scored 4 points in the second quarter to Sacred Heart's 21, giving Sacred Heart a lead going into the half of 33-20. Southern was actually up 4 at the end of the first quarter. Scored 4 points in the second quarter, put them down by 13. Second half, Southern actually outscored Sacred Heart 27-24 to lose by 10. So that second quarter, you know, any points Southern scores in the second quarter, we probably have a different ball game. Not necessarily saying Southern would have won the game if they had a better second quarter, but the game definitely would have been more competitive as far as the score goes. So. Southern just did not have a great second quarter. They went away from what was working. They all defensively started having lapses, and that's what happened. So Sacred Heart was led by Olivia Tucker with 13 points. She also had 3 steals, 1 block, and 1 assist. She was 5 of 18 from the field, 1 for 10 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line. Nasera Pryor, she was 11. She had 11 points. She was 3 of 13 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, and 5 of 9 from the line. She had 8 rebounds and 10 assists, 2 steals. She almost had a triple-double. Really good game for her. And also Kelsey Wood had 10 points off the bench. She had a double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds, 1 block and 2 steals. She was 4 of 7 from the field and 2 of 2 from the line. This team really did not shoot the ball that well, honestly. They were 36% from the field, 21 of 58. First quarter, they were 5 of 18 for 27%. Second quarter, they were 8 of 13 for 61%. Third quarter, they were 5 of 16 for 31% and 3 of 11 for 27% in the fourth quarter. 3-point shooting, they were 3 of 21 in the whole game. They shot 14% from 3. 2 of 7 in the first quarter for 28%. Those 2 threes really helped them start to make their run toward the end of the first quarter. And then they were only 1 for 3 from 3 in the second quarter. Second half, they were 0 for 11 from 3. So they did not shoot lights out in this game. A lot of things came off of turnovers from Southern, and easy baskets on the other end. They were 12 or 17 from the line. They did not attempt a free throw in the first quarter. Second quarter, they were 4 for 5 for 80%, 3 or 6 for 50% in the third quarter, and 5 or 6 in the fourth quarter for 83%, giving them a 12 or 17 for 70% on the game. They finished with 36 rebounds, 14 fouls, 13 assists. They turned the ball over 14 times, seven steals, 7 blocks, and 10 steals. This game only had one tie and one lead change. So just once this was a game of one team in control, then the other team took control, and that was that. They finished with 26 points in the paint, 21 points off of turnovers, 3 second chance points, 7 fast break points, and 26 bench points. Genovia Johnson was Southern's only double-digit scorer. She had 11 points and 7 rebounds, which also led the team. She also had 1 block and 2 steals. She was 4 of 13 from the field and 3 of 4 from the line. Raven White had 9 points as the second leading scorer. She was 4 of 7 from the field and 1 for 1 from the line. She finished with 5 rebounds. Amani McWayne also had 6 rebounds and 5 points for Southern. Southern would shoot 37% from the field, 20 of 54. They were 6 of 16 in the first quarter, 2 for 10 in the second quarter for 20%, 37% in the first quarter, 5 of 12 in the third quarter for 41%, and 7 of 16 in the fourth quarter for 43%. So as you can see in the second half, Southern had a better shooting percentage in both quarters than Sacred Heart. Even in the first quarter, Southern shot the ball better. That 2 for 10 in the second quarter is what did them in. 0 for 1 from 3 in the first quarter, 0 for 3 in the second quarter from 3, 1 for 4 in the third quarter for 25%, 0 for 1 in the fourth. Southern finished 1 of 9 for 3. They shot 11%. Just not a really good night shooting for Southern. Free throw shooting, Southern was 4 of 4 in the first quarter, 0 for 0 in the second quarter, 1 for 1 in the third quarter, and 1 of 4 in the fourth quarter, giving them a 6 of 9 for 66% on the night. They finished the night with 39 rebounds, so they actually won the rebounding battle. They committed 21 fouls, 6 assists, 20 turnovers, 2 blocks, and 7 steals. So you can easily see where a lot of the problems for Southern were turnovers, fouls, and just poor shooting. Just ultimately did them in. They finished with 32 points in the paint. So again, they won that battle. They only had 7 points over turnovers. They had 5 second chance points, 4 fast break points, and 16 bench points. So not a really opportune time to not have a great night. Just one poor quarter was the difference in this game. It's easy to trace this game back to where things went wrong, and honestly, a sour end to a sweet season for Southern. Obviously they finished winning the SWAC championship, which was something that they probably, they were not figured to do as a 4th seed, but they were able to pick up that win and and make it there. Had a chance, but just came up short. Jackson State headed to Memphis for the women's NIT. They dropped a 79-68 decision to Memphis, and this game was fairly close. Jackson State battled. The score was 43-32 at the half, and they were able to kind of keep it within that range. Memphis just had a really, really solid outing in this game. Jackson State was led by Deja Woodard with 15 points off the bench. She was 7 of 7 from the field and 1 for 1 from the line. She also had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Bowler had 13 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, 2 of 2 from the line. She finished with 4 rebounds and 1 assist. Angel Jackson had a double-double, 12 points and 11 rebounds. She was 4 of 10 from the field and 4 of 4 from the line. 3 fouls. She also had 3 blocks, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Daphne White had 12 points and 7 rebounds, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from the line. She also had 1 block as well. Jackson State would finish the night with 41 rebounds, 20 fouls, 10 assists, 14 turnovers, 6 blocks, and 2 steals. They shot 38% from the field on the night. They were 7 of 16 for 43% in the first quarter, 6 of 16 in the second quarter for 37%, 5 of 14 for 35%, and 8 of 21 for 38%. They were 3 of 18 from 3 for 16%. They were 0 for 4 in the first quarter, 1 for 4 in the second quarter for 25%, 0 for 2 in the third, and 2 of 8 in the fourth for 25%. They were 13 or 18 from the free throw line for 72%. There was 2 or 3 in the first quarter for 66%, 3 or 4 in the second for 75%, and 3 or 4 in the third for 75%, and 5 or 7 in the fourth for 71%. They finished with 40 points in the paint, 8 points over turnovers, 22 second chance points, 5 fast break points, and 16 bench points. Memphis basically led this game from start to finish. There were no ties and no lead changes. Jamira Schutz led Memphis with 24 points. She also had 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. She was 7 of 15 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 8 of 10 from the line. Madison Griggs had 15 points and 5 rebounds, also 2 steals. She was 5 of 14 from the field, 3 of 11 from the three-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. And Imani Jefferson had 14 points and 6 rebounds. She also had 1 assist and 2 steals. She was 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, and 7 of 9 from the line. The leader rebounder of the night was Hannah Riddick. She had 8 rebounds on the night to go with 3 points. Memphis finished the night with 48 rebounds, so they out-rebounded Jackson State by 7, which is something a lot of teams don't do. They won the rebounding battle. They had 18 fouls. They had 9 assists, 8 turnovers, 3 blocks, and 9 steals. They shot 35% from the field on the night, 8 of 24 in the first quarter for 33%, 7 of 16 in the second quarter for 43%, 6 of 20 in the third quarter for 30%, and 5 of 13 in the fourth quarter for 38%. They shot 32% from the three-point line, 8 of 25. They were 4 of 7 in the first for 57%, 2 of 4 in the second for 50%, 1 of 11 in the third for 9%, and 1 for 3 in the fourth for 33%, giving them a free throw percentage of 9 of 25 or 76%. They were 3 for 3 in the first quarter, 4 for 4 in the second quarter, 4 of 6 in the third for 66%, 8 of 12 in the fourth for 66%. They finished the night with 22 points in the paint, 9 points over turnovers, 22 second chance points, 11 fast break points, and 15 bench points. Like I said, this just was one of those games where Jackson State just could not get over the hump. You know, they fell behind and they were unable to close the gap. Didn't necessarily let it get out of hand, but they just could not really seal the deal at the end. So another solid season for Jackson State. They just ran into a team at home that was pretty solid at home. So this team would definitely be back in the mix, and most likely, you know, if things go the way they should, be back in the big dance next season. So let's jump over to the men's side. Texas Southern played in the first 4 on Wednesday night against Fairleigh Dickinson. And I mean, obviously, if you're keeping tabs on the NCAA tournament, you know Fairleigh Dickinson is still playing. They're actually playing today against Florida Atlantic in the second round. They pulled off a 116 victory over Purdue. And, you know, that's got a lot of people, as usual, when things happen, a lot of people start to wonder why we can't do it. And, you know, that's something we've talked about, and that's something we'll continue to talk about. And you know, it's not impossible for SWAC teams to win these kind of games. It comes down to matchup and style of play. You know, I mean, I don't necessarily think guy for guy, these teams are more talented than us. I'm speaking of other 16, 12, other 16, 15, 14 seeded teams. I don't think they're necessarily guy for guy more talented than us. Sometimes I feel like it's system and matchup. This is a game where Texas Southern just did not play well. I mean, that can happen in any, you know, the roles could have been reversed in this game, and Fairleigh Dickinson could have not played well. You know, it's just sometimes you play a team, they win a game, and then, you know, they believe in themselves, and, you know, they play a really solid game the next night and pick up another victory. You just never know in the tournament because, you know, after one game, you have to prepare for somebody really quickly in the next round. So you just never know what happens. But Texas Southern just did not really play a good game here. This was one of those games where every time TSU had an answer for a run that Fairleigh Dickinson would go on, Fairleigh Dickinson would extend the lead again. They would withstand every Texas Southern run and put themselves back up by a bigger margin. So it was just they were unable to get over the hump. Fairleigh Dickinson was led by Ansley Almanor. He had 23 points. He was 5 of 11 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3, and 8 of 8 from the line. He also had 8 rebounds on the night. Joe Munden finished with 17 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 8 of 9 from the line. He had 4 rebounds as well and 3 steals. Demetri Roberts, 15 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 5 from the line. He had 1 rebound, 4 assists, and 2 steals. 13 points for Grant Singleton, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 6 assists. He was 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 5 of 6 from the line. And Sean Moore finished with 10 points. So all 5 of their starters finished with double digits. Moore, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. He was 4 of 4 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, and 1 for 1 from the line. All of their points basically came from the starters. They got 6 points off the bench as a team. So in the first half, they shot 53%, 14 of 26, 9 of 20 in the second half for 45%. And that gave them a total shooting night of 50%, 23 of 46. You're not going to beat a lot of teams when they shoot 50% from the field and 40% from 3, 11 of 27 on the night for 3. They were 7 of 15 in the first half for 46%, 4 of 12 in the second half for 33%. And they shot 87% from the free throw line, 27 of 31. They were 10 of 11 in the first half for 90% and 17 of 20 in the second half for 85%. They finished with 18 points in the paint, 15 points off of turnovers, 4 second chance points, 13 fast break points, and 6 bench points. This game was tied once. I think that was at 2, and that was it. 32 rebounds for Fairleigh Dickinson. They had 5 offensive rebounds, 27 defensive rebounds, 15 fouls, 13 assists, 14 turnovers, 2 blocks, and 8 steals. Texas Southern was led by John Walker with 22 points. He was 9 of 17 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, and 4 of 5 from the line. He finished with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. Jordan Carl Nicholas, 10 points, 8 rebounds. He was 5 of 9 from the field. He also had 1 assist. He did have foul trouble. Barnes had 8 points as the third leading scorer. And they only got 2 points from PJ Henry, who is one of their top guys, especially in the SWAC tournament run. He was their top guy. He just was unable to get going. He was 1 of 7 from the field and 0 of 3 from the line. He finished with 3 assists as well and 3 fouls and 1 steal. Texas Southern shot 41% from the field, 14 of 33 for 42%, 12 of 29 in the second half for 41%. So not a bad night from the field, 26 of 62, but they shot 1 of 17 from 3 for 5%. That's going to do you in any game. That's going to do you in. They were 0 of 8 from the 3-point line in the first half and 1 of 9 in the second half for 11%. They were 8 of 9 from the free throw line for 88%, 1 for 2 in the first half for 50%, 7 of 7 for 100% in the second half. They finished with 46 points in the paint, 14 points over turnovers, 9 second chance points, 10 fast break points, and they finished with 15 bench points. The Tigers they had 31 rebounds, so they lost the rebounding battle by 1. They committed 24 fouls, 16 assists, 14 turnovers, no blocks, and 8 steals. Just, like I said, this was just one of those games where the other team just, they just were hot. I mean, your team shoot 50% and 41%. You have to match that, and if you don't, then you're gonna lose. So we're pretty cut and dry game. Nothing confusing about this effort. So just was one of those games where the other team just was hot, could not stop them. Alcorn, headed to Denton, Texas to take on North Texas in the NIT first round. Alcorn would lose this game 69-53. This was a 4-point game at the half. North Texas led 30-26. They would pull away from Alcorn in the second half to win this game by a score of 69-53. Alcorn was led by Dominic Bruton with 14 points off the bench. He was 4 of 11 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the line. He finished with 4 rebounds as well and 1 assist, 2 steals. Also in double figures for Alcorn was Otis Walker with 11 points. He was 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, 1 of 5 from the free throw line. He finished with 5 rebounds as well. DeKeidron Thorne had 9 points and 7 rebounds. Those 7 rebounds led the team. He finished with 2 of 8 shooting, 1 of 3 from the 3-point line, and 4 of 4 from the line. Other than that, nothing really went Alcorn's way. Joshua finished with 3 points. McQuarter finished with 5. Alcorn finished with 37 rebounds, 15 fouls, 6 assists, 11 turnovers, 1 block, and 8 steals. They would shoot 30% from the field, 17 of 55. They were 11 of 30 in the first half for 36%, 6 of 25 in the second half for 24%. They were 5 of 16 from the night from 3 for 31%, 2 of 8 in the first half for 25%, 3 of 8 in the second half for 37%. They shot 63% from the free throw line, 14 of 22. They were 2 of 3 in the first half for 66%, and 12 of 19 in the second half, 63%. They finished with 18 points in the paint, 15 points over turnover, 7 second chance points, 9 fast break points, and 19 bench points. This game did have 2 lead changes, no ties. North Texas was led by Tyler Perry with 21 points and 6 rebounds, also had 2 assists. He was 6 of 12 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, and 5 of 7 from the free throw line. Kay Huntsberry was the only other double-digit scorer. He had 10 points and 8 rebounds. Those 8 rebounds led the team. He also finished with 5 assists and 1 steal. He was 2 of 7 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, and 4 of 5 from the line. Aaron Scott had 8 points and 7 rebounds also for the Mean Green. 36 rebounds on the night for them, so they won the rebound. They lost the rebound battle. Alcorn won the rebound battle by 1. They had 17 fouls, 17 assists, 12 turnovers, 3 blocks, and 5 steals. They would shoot 44% from the field, 22 of 50. They were 9 of 24 in the first half for 37%, 13 of 26 in the second half for 50%. They would shoot 30% from the 3-point line, 8 of 26. They were 4 of 14 in the first half for 28%, 4 of 12 in the second half for 33%, and they shot 73% from the free throw line, 17 of 23. They were 8 of 9 in the first half for 88%, 9 of 14 in the second half for 64%. They finished with 22 points in the paint, 15 points over turnovers, 6 second chance points, 13 fast break points, and 21 bench points. This was a game Alcorn, they were in this game. They were only down by 4 at the half. Second half, North Texas pulled away, but another solid season for Alcorn, another regular season championship, another NIT berth. So we'll see if they can, get over that hump and get to the big dance next season. And we'll see how the Braves do when they reach that point. One other basketball note I wanted to touch on before we pretty much put a final bow on the what am I trying to say? Before we put a final bow on the SWAC basketball season, it is the HBCU All-Star game has announced their rosters. I'm going to see if I can pull that up. We're going to go over that real quick if we can come up with it. All right, the 2023 HBCU All-Star Game rosters have been announced. There's 24 players. One team, Willis Reed, is the SWAC and CIAA, facing off against Team Dick Barnett, which is MEAC, SIAC, and Independence. So it's similar to the way they did the Legacy Bowl, except for instead of MEAC and SIAC and Independence, is MEAC, SIAC, and then Independence. The CIAA switches sides with the SWAC with the SIAC to be with the SWAC players in this one. So just on the SWAC side, Cameron Christian from Grambling State is there. Breon Whitley from Southern. Jordan Carl Nicholas from Texas Southern. John Walker III from Texas Southern. Sean Doss from Pine Bluff. Dontrell McQuarter from Alcorn. Will Douglas from Prairie View. Terry Collins from Valley. And Marcus Garrett from Bethune-Cookman are the SWAC representatives. So 9 out of the 12 players on the team, Willis Reed, are from the SWAC. This team is coached by Dante Jackson from Grambling, as well as Jay Butler from Virginia Union. So this game will take place on Sunday, April 2nd. It'll be at Texas Southern during the Final Four, which is in Houston this year. So you can catch this game on CBS. I think it's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So make sure you tune in and catch this game, man. Like I said, there's 9 SWAC guys playing their last college game in this HBCU All-Star game. So make sure you tune in and check that out and support the SWAC athletes as they make their final appearance in a college uniform. Now we're going to jump over to the sport of baseball. We're going to touch on a little bit of baseball. We're going to go through some scores and the standings where we stand right now. Because now that we're out of basketball season, it's now baseball and football. So football is obviously king for most of y'all. So we're definitely going to continue to cover that. But this week, just want to touch on some baseball. We are in the first weekend of baseball, really, for SWAC play this season. So we'll go over some of the scores from this weekend and look at what's coming up during the following week. Been a pretty eventful start to the season. Obviously, they had that issue with Valley and UNO with the umpire making the horrible call. But now we're in SWAC play. This is the first series of SWAC play. Texas Southern defeated Pine Bluff 9-7 on Friday. Bethune-Cookman beat Alabama State 5-4 on Friday as well. Grambling beat Southern 8-7 in extra innings. Bama State played a double hitter against Pine Bluff. Against Bethune-Cookman on Friday. They won game 2 by a score of 11-3. Alabama A&M beat Jackson State 13-9, and Florida A&M and Valley game was canceled on Friday. Saturday scores: FAMU beat Valley 8-0. Alabama State dropped game 3 to Bethune-Cookman 6-5. Texas Southern beat Pine Bluff 13-3. Florida A&M beat Valley 18-2 in game 2 of that series. Southern beat Grambling 8-7 again in 12 innings. So both games in this series went extra innings, and both scores were 8-7. Should be an interesting third game today. Prairie View beat Alcorn 10-4. Jackson State beat Alabama A&M 18-6. And in game 2 of the Prairie View Alcorn, let's see, is that game 2? Yeah, in game 2, Prairie View also beat Alcorn by a score of 10-4. Sunday's games, which is today, Southern is at Grambling. Alabama A&M is at Jackson State to end these series. Prairie View is Alcorn. And Texas Southern is at Pine Bluff to wrap up those series. Looking at just the schedule moving forward, Tuesday, Alabama A&M is at UT Martin. Alcorn is at Valley. Stetson is at Bethune-Cookman. Grambling is at ULL. Jacksonville State goes to Alabama State. Texas Southern goes to Lamar. Pine Bluff goes to Ole Miss. On Wednesday, March 22nd, FAMU is at Troy. Valley is at Nichols. Southern is at University of Houston. On Friday, the next set of SWAC series start up. Pine Bluff is at Prairie View, Southern is at Texas Southern. Alabama A&M is at Florida A&M. Valley is at Bethune-Cookman. Alabama State is at Jackson State. And Alcorn is at Grambling. So those will be the weekend series for next weekend. Taking a quick look at the standings. Right now, Florida A&M, it leads the East with a 2-0 record. They're 8-11 overall. They've won 2 straight games. Bethune-Cookman 2-1. 10-10. They won one. Jackson State 1-1, 12-4. They won one. Alabama A&M is 1-1, 8-9. They've lost one. Alcorn. Excuse me. I don't know why I can't talk today. Alabama State 1-2, 11-10 overall. They've lost one. And Valley is 0-2, 6-12 overall. They've lost 6 games in a row. On the West, Southern is 1-1, 5-12 overall. They've won one. Grambling is 1-1, 5-13 overall. They've lost one. For some reason, they don't have anybody else's SWAC records here, but Texas Southern is 14-6. They've won 8 games in a row. Pine Bluff 7-11. Prairie View 4-15. Alcorn 1-12. So they have these things all crazy. Hopefully they'll get this stuff better organized and we can go through it in a better way. Moving on to softball. This past weekend series starting on Thursday, Alabama A&M lost a 16-11 decision to Alabama State. Prairie View and Texas Southern don't have a score for that game. Bethune-Cookman beat FAMU 4-1. On Saturday, Southern beat Alcorn 2-0. Grambling beat Pine Bluff 10-1. Bethune-Cookman lost 9-1 to Florida A&M. Jackson State beat Valley 16-3. Pine Bluff lost to Grambling 12-6. Texas Southern lost to Prairie View 7-5. Today's games, Alcorn is at Southern, Valley is at Jackson, and Bethune-Cookman is at Florida A&M. Looking at the standings right now, like I said, this is early in the SWAC play, so, really not a lot to really talk about. Alabama State is 2-0 in conference play, 13-11. FAMU is 5-2, 11-12. Bethune-Cookman 3-3, 5-21. Jackson State 2-3, 13-16 overall. Alabama A&M 1-2, 10-10 overall. Valley 0-4, 0-18 overall. Grambling 6-0. 19-8-1 overall. Prairie View 5-0, 6-14. Alcorn 2-2, 5-15. Southern 1-3, 4-19. Pine Bluff 1-5, 5-21. Texas Southern 0-5, 2-15 overall. So that's what we stand right now. Like I said, it's early in the season. So got a lot of sports left to play. So really can't really make heads or tails of things right now. Looking at the Commissioner's Cup right now, man, this is, we still have a few sports left, but right now Jackson State leads the Commissioner's Cup. They have 49 points on the men's side, 58 on the women's side, giving them a total of 107.5. Bama State is second with 31 points on the men's side, 63 on the women's side, 63.5 on the women's side, giving them a total of 94.5. For second place, Southern is third place with 37 points on the men's side, 47.5 on the women's side, 84.5 points on the third total for third place. Prairie View is fourth at 75 points, 30 on the men's side, 45 on the women's side. Texas Southern is fifth at 73.5 points, 34.5 on the men's, 39 on the women. Grambling 25 points on men's side, 44 on the women's side, giving them a total of 69 for sixth place. Bethune-Cookman 29 points on the men's side, 32.5 on the women's side, 61.5 points total for seventh place. Alcorn and Alabama A&M are tied for eighth place with 58.5 points, 27.5 for Alcorn on the men's side, 31 on the women's side, 20.5 points on the men's side for Alabama A&M, and 38 on the women's side. FAMU is 10th at 56.5 points, 21 on the men's side, 35.5 on the women's side. Pine Bluff is 11th at 55 points, 24.5 on the men's side, 30.5 on the women's side. And Valley is last with 20 points, 10 on the men's side, 10 on the women's side. So if the Commissioner's Cup is basically an evaluation of every finish in every sport. Championship obviously count for more. And the team with the best point total at the end wins the Commissioner's Cup. Right now, Jackson State has a solid lead, so they look like they may end up winning it, but a lot of sports are still left to be played. So we'll see how those finish, and we'll see how that finishes. So that's going to do it for today's episode, man. I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back on Wednesday with another edition of SWAC Talk. Thursday, SWAC Smoke Live, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, and then Sunday, back with more SWAC Talk. So we'll catch y'all on the rebound. Like I said, we're going to get back into football pretty heavy starting up next week. So y'all make sure y'all catch us, and we'll holler at y'all later. Peace.